This hangout's going to be about theology, philosophy, and science. Discussion of any subject in that range. Atheists are welcome, Christians welcome, creationists, evolutionists. We'll have a cordial discussion about anything. It's just an open discussion about all matters related to theology and philosophy of religion, including science. Anybody's welcome to join. Since nobody's come to the hangout yet, I think I'll just share something with you. Looking through my favorites, let's see here. Found some interesting things. I keep favorites sometimes when I find something interesting to share with others that kind of points to worldviews and how my worldview is true. Here's an article by National Geographic. Let me just click that link, something I've saved. Let's see here. It says 65 million years ago, the last of the non-avian dinosaurs went extinct. So too did the giant, except that's been contradicted by modern science. The first line, scientifically wrong. So too did the giant mosasaurs, and plesiosaurs in the seas, and the plesiosaurs, pterosaurs in the skies. Plankton, the base of the ocean's food chain, took a hard hit. Now, what are they talking about here? They say 65 million years ago, giant mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, and pterosaurs. Those are creatures in the sea and creatures that flew in the air. And plankton, a vast amount of plankton in the oceans, also took a hard hit, but didn't go extinct. So the world's largest creatures, and a lot of the ocean's plankton all died roughly the same time, about 65 million years ago. Bear that in mind. Now they say, what was the cause of this mass extinction that marks the end of the Cretaceous and the beginning of the Pliocene? Now, it starts getting funny. Let's consider the idea of the geologic column according to the secular scientists. The end of the Cretaceous and the beginning of the Pliocene. Paleogene, I'm sorry. So here we have the early stages of something taking place. Plot thickens. That accounts for the extinction of the world's largest animals, and in fact, many, many animals, a very great many species. Mass extinction, it's called. Even a great percentage of the world's plankton died. Let's keep the suspense going. They say scientists have yet to find an answer. Really? The one that does must explain why these animals died while most mammals, turtles, crocodiles, salamanders, and frogs survived. Birds escaped. No, they didn't. So did snails, bivalves, sea stars. Birds escaped. I can explain why they survived. They didn't go extinct. That's what they mean. Starfish and sea urchins, even hardy plants able to weather climate extremes fared okay. Scientists tend to huddle around one of two hypotheses that may explain the Cretaceous extinction: an extraterrestrial impact, such as an asteroid or comet, or a massive bout of volcanism. So, something massive took place. Either scenario would have choked the skies with debris that starved the Earth of the sun's energy, throwing a wrench in the hypothesis and sending destruction up and down the food chain. Once the dust settled, greenhouse gases locked the atmosphere, would have caused temperatures to soar, and a swift climate swing to topple much of that life that survived the prolonged darkness. So they're looking for a cause. And they think maybe, comet or asteroids struck the Earth. They're looking for a cause of an extinction of a great many species of animals on the Earth, especially all the largest ones, things that flew in the sky, as well as a great percentage of the world's plankton living in the oceans. All died because of a single event. What do you suppose that would be? Well, I'll tell you what it was. It was the flood of Noah. You see, the flood of Noah is what explains this mass extinction, even of the plankton in the sea. Now, why the plankton in the sea? Well, because when God split the earth open at the mid-oceanic ridges, Massive amounts of hot mineralized, heavy mineralized water came rushing out of the earth. This tremendous temperature change in the oceans, this abrupt temperature change, and high mineral content wiped out massive amounts of plankton in the sea and many sea creatures. And all of the land creatures except those which were on the ark. And there's your mass extinction right there. Now they say that something choked out the skies, they believe. A tremendous amount of volcanic activity, and that's supported by the strata of the earth because we see certain layers of volcanic activity that are global around the world. And about the same time, quote unquote, time that the evolutionists believe, all these creatures went extinct. So a lot of volcanic activity took place too. Well, that's explained by the flood also, because when the earth split open, it forced the continents apart, starting plate tectonics on the planet, forcing the continental plates to slam into each other, one to scoot down, subduct below the other, squeezing an awful lot of the earth, creating the ring of fire volcanoes that go around North America and down Asia, creating lots of volcanoes. And these volcanic eruptions during the flood is what put all this ash in the sky and choked out the atmosphere for a time. Instead of making a greenhouse effect, it actually made the earth cold. Very cold at first, because it blocked out the sun. And the earth got cold really fast. Now you've got hot water that came out from within the earth in the oceans. The oceans are much hotter. And so you've got the atmosphere getting very cold. And so you have massive amounts of water vapor evaporating up from these hot oceans into this very cold atmosphere. And this created a snowstorm like the earth had never seen or never could experience again, creating the Ice Age, laying down massive amounts of snow on the earth very quickly. And that was the Ice Age. It was caused by the flood. So when secular scientists say there was mass extinction and there was massive amounts of volcanic activity and the atmosphere was blocked out and the earth got really cold but then heated up later, all they're doing is explaining the flood of Noah, which they refuse to acknowledge took place, which is evidenced by so much in science, including the very strata themselves, which can only have been created by the flood, because they have clear, distinct boundaries with each other and they're sorted by grain size. All the strata were laid down by moving water. And this is true across all the continents of the earth. So it's actual evidence. The evidence all supports the flood of Noah. Isn't that remarkable? Interesting. It's fascinating that these scientists will explain all of the events that took place because of the flood, but then refuse to acknowledge there was a flood. Isn't that amazing? I find it almost humorous. It's very sad in a way, but it's very humorous too, in a way. I chuckle and shake my head at these secular scientists. They provide all the proof of the flood, just refuse to accept that it really happened. And so they try to explain it away with asteroid hitting the earth or a comet, something that caused all this activity, this mass extinction, and the atmosphere being choked out by ash in the sky, and the massive the Ice Age coming into being. They explain it away with other things, anything, but it can't be that flood. And that's just fascinating to me, how the secular scientists provide all the evidence that supports the Christian. They just refuse to come to the proper conclusion because they can't believe what it says. Hey, Brother Luke.
Hey, brother, you're live, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, interrupting, I didn't know what you're talking about. I just finished my broadcast, and I thought I'd join you just to say hi for a few minutes before I won't be able to participate. I'm already worn out.
Okay.
And
Hey, I
so,
was thinking about you the other day. I was thinking about, well, how the secular scientists provide all the evidence for the flood of Noah and then refuse to come to the proper conclusion. They talk about how there was a mass extinction. There's a dinosaur extinction webpage on my screen right now from National Geographic, and they talk about a mass extinction of animals and a massive, a large percentage of the world's plankton in the seas, and the atmosphere being choked out by ash and a lot of volcanic activity, and something, all this happened about 65 million years ago, and gee, there must have been an asteroid that hit the earth. Well, here's what happened. God split the earth open. Massive amounts of highly mineralized hot water came rushing out of the earth, buried the continents in deep strata, wiping out every living thing that creepeth upon the earth except that was which was on the ark, causing the volcanic activity of the earth because it forced the continents apart, putting massive amounts of ash into the atmosphere, making the atmosphere extremely cold. Now you got hot oceans, high mineralized hot oceans, evaporating massive amounts of water up into a now very cold atmosphere that's been choked out, and the sun's been blocked out by ash caused by the volcanic activity because God split the continents of the earth, and the continents have been forced apart, and causing a snowstorm like the earth has never seen nor will again, which caused the ice age. And so the secular scientists are providing all the evidences of the things that took place during the flood that caused this mass extinction, even of plankton in the ocean, but they simply refuse to come to the proper conclusion that what it really was the flood of Noah, not a comet or asteroid impacting the earth that did this. It's fascinating.
well, it's so clear that they are doing that. They're coming up with these theories in desperation to do anything, to find any alternative, anything except God.
Absolutely. I was thinking about you earlier today, and I was thinking how I'd love to interview you and do a video of it on my YouTube channel and have you talk about how you got on YouTube and what you've been doing since, and your motivation for it. And, just kind of have a, let's say a 30-minute talk, like a little interview with you. What do you think about that idea?
It would be my pleasure, brother. I would enjoy it very much.
Great. We'll do that sometime very soon then. I would like to do that. Kind of highlight you. I want to bring your channel to knowledge of people, because you're just a tireless worker for the Lord. You just never cease to talk about the Bible and explain the words that are in it, and for people to reason and understand. And I just really admire that about you, because you just never stop. It's like you're driven. Every day you get up, you have coffee, here goes the Bible, and you go to bed with the Bible in your mind.
Well, I think that saying "it takes one to know one." Uh, I think of you in the same way, and we have our different niche. Where what you're doing, I understand probably 10% as well as you do, and I appreciate that you taken this particular ministry on to refute the atheists and the evolutionists. And I can do it, but not nearly as well. So I'm grateful for you being here. But my niche is totally different, and there's a need for all of us, though. There's many parts in the body.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to help people know who you are and what you've been doing all these years on YouTube, and bring your, because you really do these wonderful videos where you sit down with your friends, and you go over the pages of the Bible word line by line and explain what's being said, and the ideas behind it, and even some of the things that reading between the lines, now consider what he was saying there and what this means. And if you'll go back, you'll find that this is kind of a reference back to such. I love that quote. That kind of you analyze the Bible, the books of the Bible, page by page, and there's so much that can be learned doing that, and like what you're doing with the book of Job right now. If anybody listening, Luke is going through the book of Job book by book, line by line. And that's a monumental effort, man.
Well, I'll make sure that when I get to Job 38, I let you know. I know that you're excited about that chapter.
Yeah, I am.
I did. Yeah, I'm not only working through Job. I think I'm on what chapter in Job now? I finished Job chapter 29. I'm also, I think, about chapter 22 in Proverbs, and John. Now I just got tonight. I did John 3:13 through John 3:18, and I just was so excited. Those verses there are like some of the greatest verses in the scripture.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just in the one verse of John 3:16, it refutes all kinds of false, it proves eternal security. It proves that Calvinism is wrong. It's just so much. It's wonderful. I see you got some people to participate with you now, so I'm going to leave, and I just wanted to stop and say hi to you while I had a few minutes.
Great, it was a blessing.
All right, brother. Yeah, when you're ready to do that, when you're ready to do that interview, I will be a pleasure to do it. Okay.
Great, great. I'll get in touch with you about it in the next 2-3 weeks. You know, try to find it when you have time. You let me know.
All right.
We'll do that. God bless you.
Bye.
Thanks. Ah, that guy's tireless, man. He's going through the whole freaking Bible, line by line. That's amazing.
Well, that's how I read it too. I read through it that way. But that's cool. I kind of wish I'd got here sooner.
Well, he's going through the Bible line by line, with friends in a hangout, and they're discussing it as they go, and on video. And it'd really be a great learning tool for anybody who's really new to the Bible to watch his videos, because they'll probably learn quite a few things.
No,
in Job 29 when he was talking about the parable. I was hoping he was going to talk about that.
Well, you'd have to check out his channel, and you can do that if you like. And
can you tell me his name?
Yes, my brother Luke Bouzier. I'll provide a link here to his channel in.
That'd be great.
Yeah, to his Google page. Of course, you can access his YouTube channel from his Google page, and there's a link to his Google page.
Oh, thank you.
He's been on YouTube for years now, about like I have. We started using YouTube about the same time. I think both of us in 2007, and he's been doing the Bible study thing for I don't know how long now. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've tried to get together with groups and do Bible studies, but for the most part, nobody shows up. So it's all good. Yeah, cool. I think I've seen this guy before. Sorry, my gums are more swollen up than usual tonight.
Well, I was just talking a minute ago about the scientists are providing all the evidence in the world for the flood of Noah, but then refuse to come to the proper conclusion. It's rather funny to see their explanations for things, and then how they'll say the flood never happened, but gee, the earth was cool. This happened and this happened and mass extinction happened and this happened and this happened, and well, of course there was a flood. They just can't come to the proper conclusion because that's too much like the truth. It can't be true.
I have to agree. Would have to agree. It's right there in front of them, and instead of seeing it, they see everything but it.
Yes.
But when you do use the evidence and show it to them, they, instead of seeing what you're showing them, they'll do their best not to.
Yeah.
They'll go out of their way to not understand you, even when you're being so simply, you speak to them in the simplest terms, and they will simply, instead of trying to understand, they will do their best to confuse the situation instead.
Yeah. They'll come up with any explanation except the truth. The flood can't be true. So But they talk about global extinction, the Earth's skies being blocked out, by ash. They talk about the large animals, lots and lots of species going extinct at the same time. They talk about volcanic activity, global volcanic activity at the same time. They talk about many, many sea species going extinct at the same time. They talk about a large percentage of the world's plankton in the seas dying at the same time. Now, this is because the flood took place. It's all.
Even more importantly, this is to have these things happen, sure, but then to have it happen in a way that all of these things fossilize instead of just rot.
That's a good point. Exactly. The fossil record, it testifies to the flood. Okay, take care, Mike.
Right.
Um, yeah, the flood is the only thing that could have created the fossil record. Yeah, you have to have the right mineral environment. The Earth's waters don't have the proper mineral content right now to make fossils. It's just fossilization is very rare on the planet right now. Only in certain very limited locations can you actually get a fossil to happen. The vast majority of the Earth's surface, 99.99999% of it, or something like that, there's no potential to make fossils there. It's just not going to happen. So why are there fossils globally deep through the Earth, sediments? That's because of one event, the flood.
That's right. That is correct. I'll be right back. I'll go get some ice for my teeth.
Okay.
Or for my gums, I should say.
So anyway, this hangout's about anything really, not just the flood of Noah, but we can talk about anything. I just thought it'd be funny to point this out. This National Geographic webpage. It's nationalgeographic.com/science/ prehistoric world /dinosaur extinction. Anybody wants to check it out? National Geographic, it's science.nationalgeographic.com /science/ prehistoric world /dinosaur extinction. And that webpage there, they talk about all these things that took place during the flood, but they just can't come to the conclusion it was a flood. Then they talk about rapid diversity that took place after this event. Well, gee, that would be the animals getting off the ark and reproducing again. And so you've got the land-dwelling animals and the birds and everything being reborn on the earth because of after the flood. But it's funny. They talk about all the things that caused the flood, or caused by the flood, but they can't acknowledge that flood was real, even though the physical evidence for it is just absolutely overwhelming. In fact, they talk, listen to this, but Earth's core is also rich in iridium, and the core is the source of magma that some scientists say spewed out in a vast flood-like flows that piled up more than 1.5 miles or 2.4 kilometers thick over 1 million square miles of India. The truth is, this stuff covered the whole planet, not just India. They're just talking about one massive sedimentary flow that was there in India. They say this bout of volcanism has also been dated to about 65 million years ago. Well, we know about dating methods, and would have spread the iridium around the world, along with the sunlight blocking dust and soot and greenhouse gases. Wow. Gee, that sounds like the flood of Noah, if you ask me. Oh, my.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable that these people can point out so much evidence for the flood. fact, I'm going to save that entire article to a text file. It's so funny. Doing that as we speak.
Well, I guess everybody left.
Yeah. Well, atheists and evolutionists really mostly don't like coming into creationist hangouts anymore. They want you to come to theirs, but they don't like coming to yours, it seems. So I don't end up nowadays rarely have anybody to debate. Once in a while somebody will, but most of the time they don't do it anymore. Not just my hangouts, but others, it seems like. I don't know, especially mine. I guess because they're tired of being refuted by science and history.
Well, they never came to mind in the first place. In fact, Christians don't come to mind at all either. So, at this point, if you would rather I leave, just say so, because I know that I have a chilling effect on these things. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just saving that webpage.
So, I'm aware that I'm not exactly the most popular person.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about there, but so anyway, how are you doing, Gary? What's new with you?
Oh, I don't know. Today wasn't bad. It was a pretty good day, actually. I was able to finally get my groceries out of my car and such. My friend come over and help me carry this stuff my house needs. Friend. A friend or a match, one of the two.
Good.
But I'll get by. I get by, that's all. And I'm doing all right. My gums were a little more swollen up today. But there's nobody to call. I'll call tomorrow and see what's going on. Pretty soon I see a regular doctor about why my gums wouldn't stop bleeding. I also need to check my kidney function because I lost so much blood. My kidneys weren't happy. The pain level is very even today, very easy. So, yeah,
I'm praying for you.
thank you. So I spent most of the day sleeping, to be real honest. Something I haven't been able to do in a while. Well, that's how my day's been. How's yours?
Mine was uneventful. It's just another day. Just
Yeah.
another work day. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. I'm going to see my calendar and see when I'm going to see everybody. After Thanksgiving. Okay. Having no teeth for Thanksgiving. I don't know why I think that's funny, but it is.
Yeah, you definitely need to see a doctor about your gums. I don't know what's going on there, but you need to get to one.
Well, right now they're just healing now. The big crisis of it is at least over. Um, Yesterday, little pieces of my teeth were coming out. Out of, I guess he said my teeth broke a lot as he was pulling them. So
Oh, is that what happened? You went to a dentist and had teeth pulled?
I was gonna get I'm still gonna get dentures. Yeah, I went to the dentist on Friday, and I think it's Friday or last. I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, and he pulled my remaining teeth. Like he's done 1,000 times for 1,000 people. Only on my situation, my gums wouldn't stop bleeding. And on Sunday, it was actually real early Sunday morning, like 1 or 2 in the morning. I called an ambulance, and they found me passed out in my driveway. I guess I went out to meet them.
Hmm.
And took me to the hospital and tried to figure out what was going on. I wasn't quite coherent. Um,
What happened? Your blood sugar get too high or something?
no, I had no blood.
Oh,
I pretty much just was bleeding out. They transfused me and a few things and started figuring things out. About the time they had it all figured out, my gums stopped bleeding. And at that point, they just wanted to get me stable enough to send home, because that's how things work these days. They don't like you to stick around too long.
hey Gary. Somebody, a friend of mine, Johnny KZ, says that you have him blocked. Could you
Yes,
unblock
I
him?
do. I will not unblock him, but I will happily leave. He's not a friend of mine. I'll
Oh,
see you later, Evan.
all right. Well, God bless. Take care. So, the Hangout's about any subject related to my worldview or anybody's worldview. Can discuss science, philosophy, theology, history. There's lots of things to talk about. And earlier in this hangout, I was providing an argument from uh, showing evidences in a National Geographic webpage that these secular scientists acknowledge many of the events that took place because of the flood, but then refused to come to the conclusion it was a real event. It's kind of funny.
Hey, brother. How you
Hey,
doing?
all right. How are you doing, John?
Oh, brother, I think I'm not doing so well. I'm feeling a bit better right now.
What's the matter?
Well, I took that. Have you heard of wormwood?
No.
Well, wormwood is used in traditional medicine, and it's kind of mixed with alcohol and with some other herbs. And I've had some cramps, in my cervical spine. So I thought if I took that for a couple of days, I've been taking that for a couple of days now. But it seems like my nervous system is way too sensitive to that substance.
Yeah, I'm very sensitive to drugs myself.
Yeah, this is just herbal, mind you. This is pure plant, but the plant has the tujon in it, and that's causing me because when my brain cells get stimulated, I become hyper,
Hmm.
and that doesn't do me too good. And this has a half-life of 25 hours. I just read that, so that's going to take some time.
Yeah.
That effect is going to fade away.
Hey, Seth.
But I
Well, you
think
gotta
that's what
just
it's
lay
going
off of it. Maybe you need to stop taking it for a
to.
while.
Yeah, I won't take that again.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
very sensitive to drugs myself. For example, if somebody, like a medication for
Mhm.
and that prevents, antihistamine of some kind or something that for, a rash or an allergic reaction, a dosage that's normal for most people, works fine in them. But if I were to take that same dose,
Mhm.
I would be mildly overdosed on it, and it would make me feel extremely bad. And that's exactly what happened to me not long ago. My wife had an antihistamine drug, and I needed some, and so I took one, and it didn't bother her, but just that one pill that I took.
Mhm.
Oh man, I swear I felt like I was dying. If I had gotten any worse feeling than I was, I would have gone to the hospital and said, please give
Oh.
me something that counteracts this if there's an antidote for it. Because I honestly felt like it just wouldn't take much more and it would kill me. I was just it was
Did you
really,
have an increased heartbeat?
no, not increased heartbeat, but I just felt like I was dying. I don't know how to explain it. I just like my whole body felt like it was shutting down. I had a
Oh.
buzzing sensation, and it was like the world was vibrating. I just really, really felt bad. So a proper dose of that drug for me would have been about 1/4 of a pill. But for most people, one whole pill probably wouldn't give them any such ill effects. But for me, wow, just about killed me, man. It was a terrible experience. I was begging God, oh Lord, help me with this. Take this away from me. I wish I hadn't taken that.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the same way that I started to feel. Yeah,
I'm hypersensitive to
that's good.
medications.
Yeah, I guess some people just are more sensitive to certain, whether it's herbal or what have you. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's just your particular biochemistry.
yeah. I mean, some substances like, for example, alcohol, they just, they have a very soothing effect on me. If I take, if I have a beer or so, that doesn't do that. Rather calms me down. This does the opposite.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, sets your nerves on fire, makes you feel really anxious and whatnot.
yeah, all kinds of thoughts, that as if I wanna, just run over people and stuff like that. All kinds of crazy thoughts.
Oh, yeah, yeah, negative effects. Drugs
It's
can do crazy things to people and make them have suicidal thoughts and everything. So you
yeah,
just remain calm and cool, Johnny, and let that just remember that it's the drug that's making you feel, emotionally strange, and just hang with it and let it wear off. Just stay away from that stuff, man.
Are you having problems with medication, Johnny?
yeah. Well, this is a herbal thing that I have. You heard of wormwood?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that and some other herbs, mixed together with alcohol tincture. I tried that out for a couple of days, and at
How's it
first,
making you feel?
well, at first it didn't. I didn't feel at all. I mean, I thought I would be feeling better, but due to hypersensitivity, after the fifth day, after 20 hours after that, I started to feel like kind of strange, like I'm in some other world, and then I'm not, but then I am, right? And then I noticed that my brain is now becoming hyper. And the same thing happened today. I got an increased heart rate all of a sudden, Then it was over.
How old are you, Johnny?
How old I am?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in mid-30s.
okay.
Well, mid-30s, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just don't take any more of that, man. No matter what.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna leave that aside.
Yeah, that's
Once,
definitely not good for you.
Yeah,
once I
maybe.
notice the substance doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you want to talk to a doctor. I mean, I don't. I was sitting here thinking how I could help you, because maybe I know of something that you can take that's safe and natural that you can take that would help with hypersensitivity. But I can't think of anything. So
Yeah, I need something for my cervical spine muscles because they've been very tense, over the years. I wanted something to get those relaxed.
yeah, and you don't want to take aspirin every day or Tylenol every day. That would be bad for your liver.
Yeah. And aspirin? Did you say aspirin?
Yeah, aspirin or Tylenol. But I know with back
No, I
pain,
don't think those.
it's hit or miss with painkillers. And again, you don't want to take that long term. You just screw up your liver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I don't. I never took those, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, have you thought of well, I don't know where you live, but
Yeah.
in most of the United States, or not most of them, at least a few of them at least, medicinal marijuana is legal, and you might want to
Oh, I'm
contemplate.
I'm I'm in Germany right now.
Um,
Oh yeah, well, I tried that 9 or 10 years ago. Back when I was in Pakistan, but maybe there was some impurity in there. I don't know, but I mean that the substance was marijuana, and that also made me turn hyper. After a few puffs, I noticed already that this is not because my brain is really doesn't react too good to those substances either. So I have to be careful with that too. After that, I didn't touch that again because I said this is something. This is also, taking me to other worlds.
Well, my girlfriend just recently got a medical marijuana card here in California, and sure, the people that she's went to at these dispensaries have been very very nice in helping her find a strain and a way to consume it that's
Right.
that's safe, and because she has anxiety problems, she has it very hard to relax even when she's not working. So she tried it, and she doesn't like getting really high. She just smokes a little. She has a vaporizer now. She smokes a little bit sometimes when she's off work, and it helps her relax a little bit, and she doesn't really get high.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it like Brother Nephilim Free said. I mean, different people seem to react differently to the same substance, even if it's herbal.
Hmm. Well, I hope you find something that helps. I've
Yeah.
got a lot of family has who have had back problems, and I know it can be a nightmare.
I mean, I know that Xanax and Valium, these two, yeah, they got me down. I mean, they relaxed me. But those, of course, again, are chemical substances that shouldn't be taken on a regular basis.
Right. I was prescribed Valium once for a toothache from a dentist, and I can understand why people get addicted to it. It is very nice loopy feeling, and so I did not overuse that. I did not want to become addicted to that kind of thing.
Right, right.
That kind of I know people who I went to school with who got addicted on Valium and just
Mhm.
fucked up their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning, man didn't need any drugs. And now we live in a fallen world and we got all kinds of health problems. It's crazy. That's what changes to our DNA has done for us. It's made us have all kinds of health problems. I was providing a link to, uh, I was reading earlier in the Hangout, a National Geographic page which talks about all the symptoms of the flood of Noah. And the scientists refused to come to the proper conclusion. I think it's fascinating. But definitely lay off that stuff, Johnny. Yeah. It'll leave your system in a couple of days. How many days have you been taking it?
Well, I've been taking it for I think 5 or 6 days regularly. Yeah. Yeah, 5 or 6 days, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll take a couple of days for that to fully leave your system. So just remain calm and let it work itself through.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the last dose today about I think 7 hours ago or so. So with the 25-hour half-life, that means, yeah, half of the effect tomorrow at the same time. Then another 25 hours, 24 hours, yeah, half of that, 1/4. Yeah, I think that should
Yeah.
be,
Take 2 or 3 days probably. I don't know. It might.
yeah, 3 days, I suppose, to have yeah, 3, 4 days, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah. Yep. And it'll eventually pass.
Yeah. There was another herbal medicine that I tried, and that, the first, on the same day, I mean, first time, again, the same like prescribed for what people usually take. Was 2,000 milligrams, I believe, was the daily dosage. So I took 500. Okay, I felt a little bit tingly, in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that kind of sensation. I mean, I've had drugs do that to me before. Medications make me feel a bit buzz, have like buzzing effect and whatnot. Yeah, it's getting hard to find people to discuss these things with in Hangouts anymore because it seems like the people with other worldviews tend to want everybody to go to their channels, but they don't really like going to yours too much anymore. And so I think Christians having a hard time, and I seem to have a especially hard time as of late getting anybody with an opposing worldview to come to my YouTube channels. I guess because they, if they can't move the earth and convert me or, you know, whatever, and they can't win an argument, then what's the point? Maybe they feel like that or something. I don't know.
Hey, brother, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we cut out there. But yeah, it seems like, brother, once my heart starts to race a bit, and after that, it calms down. Then my body's telling me that a large portion of the substance is now being processed. This is what I feel like because this is what happened last time. I mean, once again, I had a heartbeat of I guess above 140 or something, at rest, relatively at rest, and then it went down again, and after that the effect was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good.
So maybe that'll happen again, and then after that, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to probably get some, medication from a doctor to try to help you. But like I say, I would, I would shy away from taking something on a daily basis or a lot of it, regular basis, because anything you take on a regular basis
Mm.
might be bad for you.
Yeah, yeah, my mom is a doctor. I mean,
Oh,
if
is
I
she?
had to, yeah,
Oh,
go to her. Yeah.
hmm. Well, that's convenient.
Yeah.
My brother is a doctor. One of my brothers.
Mhm.
Yeah. But uh, we don't have a relationship.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Is
Yeah,
he a Christian?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that works out one day.
Not likely. My brothers are very self-centered, egotistical people, very self-centered, and so we don't have anything in common.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, that's life. Yeah. Well, I saw you talking about Calvinism with some fella and some fellas, and I listened for a little while, and I listened to Preet in a debate, and she held her ground real well recently. I think the Calvinists are under a lot of pressure now from Christians. Their views are getting refuted, and they're very up in arms about it. I think very angry about it. The Christians are pointing out that their ideas are not biblical.
Okay, I had a problem. So what's the title of the hangout? The name?
Title is Theology, Philosophy, Theology, and Science. It's God or Nothing.
Oh, okay. So far, what did you discuss? Evolution, Calvinism, or some other?
No, I was just talking about evidences for the flood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sister Preet and Sorio were having a debate today with Ross and Cleveland
Mm-hmm.
on Faithful's channel.
Yeah.
He had, I think, it was more like a discussion, but a time discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you had some pretty good points there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think they're under a lot of pressure. Seems like they've been getting very angry by having their views refuted.
Oh, some Calvinists have actually shown some anger on the hangout.
Yeah. Seems like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tension more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, they want to maintain their theological high ground, so to speak.
Yeah. 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 Well, you know what? It's getting late, and nobody really showed up to the hangout, so I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
Going to go on to bed.
Okay, brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
I didn't get enough sleep last night as it was.
Yeah.
So, well, just stay away from that medication. You'll be all right. Give it a couple of days
Well,
to clean
yeah.
out of your system. You'll be okay, John.
Will do. So God bless you, brother, and
Okay.
okay.
Take care.